Ah, yes, AI hit the docket and now it's time to talk about it. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today, I had to put on the cruise control when I heard the story because this is just driving me insane. So, for those of you who don't know, basically ever since ChatGPT and the like of chatbots have become a lot more mainstream, they have entered a lot of professional fields. Luckily, so far, not really doctors. Still need something that doesn't hallucinate to be able to tell me if I'm okay or not. But until then, we have some lawyers who there's been a few different stories where lawyers get in trouble for either creating an AI like briefing or something where it'll have cases within it that don't exist. They've never existed. They just don't exist. Now, maybe the location might exist. Maybe one of the parties might have existed in life and have sued or been been accused of a crime, been, I guess, a state or a commonwealth. But the case itself doesn't exist. Or what it is saying happened within the case didn't happen. There's been a bunch of stuff. There's been lawyers sanctioned for it. I don't think anyone has been disbarred from it, because I think I would have read something about that if so. But definitely been a lot of sanctions for it. And I thought people were learning their lessons that these chatbots were not to be trusted for law cases until I saw this article. This is the most ironic article in my opinion, and I do want to preface that this does talk about some political views, political opinions in a loose sense. We will not be discussing that today. This is strictly about the AI-generated court filing happening within the case, and not the case itself. If you would like more interesting information about the case, that would be of your own research. And maybe one day I might cover, but today is not that day. But anyway, now time to get to the article. MyPillow CEO's lawyers fined for AI-generated court filing in Denver defamation case. Which is very funny because, for those of you who don't know, Mike Lindell, who is, I think he's currently still the CEO. If he's not, he at least was when these statements were made. Found him liable, or he was found liable by a jury of claims of the 2020 election and it being false, I guess. Well, I know what it was. It was the claims that Donald Trump won the 2020 election. He was saying them, and as well as saying the votes were rigged and voting machines were messed with and stuff like that. That was the main thing, is the voting machines was the main issue of the case. But regardless, he was found liable by a jury saying that these are false, that these were defamation, and his lawyers representing him filed a motion in court. And they used artificial intelligence to prepare said filing. And it was riddled with errors, including citations to non-existent cases and misquotations of case law. Now, know anything about law, court, lawyers? Though you are supposed to zealously represent your client and use almost anything to make sure they are represented to the best of your capability. And that could be AI double-checking your grammar. But it is not having AI create cases for you to make your opinion better. And so they were charged, or fined, that'd be a better way to say it, $3,000 each after this. The lawyers were Christopher, Catchorf. I'm going to say it like that, and if that is incorrect, I apologize. And Jennifer DeMaster. Same with that name. It's court rules when they filed a motion that had contained nearly 30 defective citations. And when it comes to something like that, if it was just one, would they still get in trouble? Yes. But when it comes to 30, that's a whole other issue. That means you did not look over this once when there is 30 citations incorrect. But it was really funny because the judge doesn't want to do this, but she has to because this is not okay. She writes, notwithstanding any suggestion to the contrary, this court derives no joy from sanctioning attorneys who appear before it. The least severe sanction adequate to deter and punish defense counsel in this instance is what was given, which is $3,000. And it's, again, saying the 2020 election was rigged was why the case happened in the first place. And I don't know exactly fully what... Oh, okay. Okay, so I just read a little bit more. So, basically, from what it is, there was a initial... it says pretrial hearing. After the errors were discovered, they admitted to using AI to write the motion. So, it is just a motion before the trial. It wasn't anything during the trial. It was beforehand. So, at least they were able to make it better by at least not tainting a jury. Which, I mean, yeah, just wastes court resources and everything, but at least it wasn't in the middle of the trial having to do a mistrial, which I'm assuming, yeah, either way would probably cause a mistrial, and they would probably be even more punished if it happened during trial. But anyway, they admitted to it, and they said it was filed by accident, and it was a draft, not the final motion, which I don't know why you would ever... I guess using AI to do a draft isn't the worst thing in the world, but you should at least have the research already done and, checked Westlaw and stuff like that. But it was really funny because they gave a final version and they said it was the quote-unquote correct one. But it was absolutely riddled with the same errors. And they were just like, no, stop it, and hoping to make sure that they don't do it ever again. And Wang also wrote, neither Mr. Koshorf nor Miss DeMaster provided the court any explanation to how those citations appeared in any draft for the opposition, absent of the use of artificial intelligence or gross carelessness by counsel. I would be interested... Well, it would be very hard to say ineffective assistance of counsel because in most cases, if you have a lawyer sitting there and they are breathing, basically, you really, it's very hard to claim ineffective assistance of counsel. I can 100% see if they tried to do this again. If they are not just severely sanctioned, I could see them being disbarred. But I don't know how harsh, I guess, the Colorado bar is. I'm assuming it's tough as any bar, but I don't know how tough they'll be on this situation, especially since I don't know a situation where it has been, it's been caught pretty decently early. But if this were to have went on and, they might have won a motion or something and had to go all the way back, the amount of money that would cost to do something like that would be massive. But I want to know your thoughts about this. It's so interesting. There was countless contradictory statements and lack of corroborating evidence that made the judge believe it was AI generated and deserved a sanction, though it's also misleading the court that what you're saying is true. I don't know, I think they absolutely should have been fined more, completely. Only $3,000 each. It's in federal district court. I'm very surprised. I'll be interested to see what happens. I don't think anything else will happen with these lawyers for this case when it comes to this issue, but I'll be so interested to see if their names pop up again for this issue and what happens to them. If they do. If they don't learn the lesson, I guess. But let me know your opinions down below. And I will see you the next time AI makes a screw up, which, who knows, that might be tomorrow, might be an hour from now, might be 10 years from now, probably not. But I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.